loading the stream now. Okay, I can see myself, so I think it's still online. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Also can't see if how many people are watching right now, so Twitch, please. Alright, we'll wait around here a little longer for the next wave, I suppose. I don't think there's stragglers this time. Same thing last time. Only those programmers. But that was because they spawned after I moved all the way over there. Ender2 says it's working again. Thought it was my connection. Oh no, that was probably me. Sorry about that. I have like an internet cable that's not working super. Like it works, but it falls out sometimes. So when I move stuff, I lose my internet. I should really get a new one. Yeah. So I tried to move my keyboard to be a bit more comfortable, and I might have messed some stuff up. Thanks for correcting me though. So I know at least now it's fixed. That's good. That's all that matters, I guess. Right. There's like more time in between waves now. I think Kisrati also nerfed that from last time. So last time the time in between waves grew linearly with each wave, and at some point I was killing them so quickly that I had to wait 1,000, 2,000 turns before they spawn again. Professional streamer. Thanks. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for watching. Can try and kill maybe. These guys don't have a lot of range, so I don't have to move yet, I think. Ooh. One more shot. Right. I am gonna be very scared. I'm gonna play this very slowly now. Every time. Okay. Okay, that was good. Like, all I want is to just pop them right now, so... If they're popped, they don't walk on top of each other as much. At least that's what it feels like. So then I can deal with them relatively normally. Oh, that's good. Nice. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, they're way too close. This should be better. Okay, so they're... If those had been investigators, actually, I'd have been screwed. So I should be paying attention that if there's a bunch of on top of each other and I pop all of them at once, then they can move very far in those one tile hallways. Wow, you're the #1 Cogmind streamer on Twitch right now. I'm not sure that says a lot. But thanks. I guess if anyone ever realizes that Cogmind is the best game in the universe, then they'll come here, maybe. Okay, it's time to relocate. Where did those hunters come from? They're not where I want them. I'm gonna ignore them. Hunters do damage, but yeah, I might get shot once or twice, and if I don't kite in the, or if I don't fight in this hallway, I'll get shot a lot more. So I'll have to deal with it, I guess. Can I do one more? Yeah, there we go. Alright, let's wait around here for a little bit more. Max range, let's go. Alright, I popped all of them. There's a bunch of prototypes, but at least I can try and kill them all at once. I was gonna say that as a joke, but then I killed them all at once. Oh man, I love this build. Oh, feels good, man. Great. That's like, I don't know how many points that is. I feel like prototypes should be worth way more points than they are, by the way. They are worth more points because you're killing more value worth of stuff, but they're way harder to kill than regular bots. Like, killing 10 grunts is trivial, and killing one prototype is hard. At least, hard to do without taking damage. This build is killing them pretty quickly. That's good. Just shoot this. The angel is standing in front, that's good. Ah. Okay, he's hitting core. I don't really know. I think sometimes, like, it's really complicated how bots are modeled. They have sizes, and like in each tile they have like sub tiles where you can shoot, and it's weird. I think if you're in a straight line it doesn't matter, but sometimes if they seem to be in a line and you target one instead of the other, even if the target line is the same, like your chances of hitting that second bot are possibly larger. Not entirely sure I understand how it works, but I guess there's no reason not to just target the one I want to kill most. That one's running away. Why is it running away? And why is this guy coming over here? Okay, we're gonna have to move. We're gonna have to move through these terminators, unfortunately. Experimental shielding face shifter. It's okay. I'll be fine. Let's get rid of these hunters. Lure them into here. I can't see my range. Well, seems about right. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Feinstep. Feinstep says, doesn't core shielding protect duelists from crits too? I think they have coring immunity now. So I think it was beta 9 that critical immunity was changed to coring immunity. Now you can't crit those robots cores instead of any of their parts. Also, they're melee, so I really don't care because we're flight, and anytime they want to attack us, we just fly away. You can kill them. It takes longer than killing other bots, definitely. At least it feels that way. Yeah, but they're not immune to crits altogether. I'm just gonna do it like this because I want to hit them both at once. Maybe take out the proc first, actually. Okay, this is fine. There we go. I think that's most of the wave this time around. Shifter 49. What's my phase shifter at? 41. Let's switch. Kill the mechanic so he can't repair anyone. There's a bot over there. And we can abuse the fact that Okay, we got like one potential free shot, but oh well. Yeah, we take damage against those guys no matter what we do. I can't outrange them, so could try something really complicated where I manipulate them to go into one tile hallways and then have other bots in front of them. If they're in that situation, I'll gladly make use of it. If they're not, I'm not gonna bother. I just want my number one priority is to have my kite path free of enemies for the next wave. I can't wait for the next wave to provide some other bots to shield me from that guy, and then yeah, I don't know. Probably thinking way too way too complicated. This is fine. Um, 188. Oh, actually, so that means there's some impulse array lying around somewhere. That is better than what we have. I want these guys to spot me. Specifically, I want that grunt in a position where I don't have to tank him. I think I can do it like this. Okay, now I don't have to care about anything anymore because we're all melee. See, he's like pretty tough, but they die all the same. Go. Nice. Okay. This is nearly destroyed. What that means is I could potentially put on another item, such as where is it? Thermal barrier. But I don't want to move right now, I think. These don't stack, right? Third analyzers. Nope. Okay. I'll keep on the lookout for something else to equip, I guess. Spectral Analyzer might be nice just to get the... Because these don't have the one turn delay that the sensor ray does. Stasis canceller, nah, probably won't need it. Could get the power amplifier back, but honestly, I'm not having power issues. I think we like duplicated the integrated super core reactor thing this run, so we have like plus 40 energy from just that. Like earlier, I was having a lot of trouble finding a spot for all my utils, and now I have a spot and I don't have any utils left. It's fine, I guess. I'll keep this on for now. The one or two hits it'll take are definitely worth it. Possibly I equip storage. Oh wait, actually these guys have armor, right? The strikers. Is that better? What's my coverage look like? This is 15%, so my armor, I don't have any armor basically. Wait. And maybe, I don't know these prototypes very well, but maybe one of them has something like weapon shielding. It would also be worth equipping. So let's take a look at that armor there. Prototype armor 3, yeah, that's probably what I think it is. That's the Centurion one. Centurion light armor plating. What's the coverage on this? 15%. Versus... Okay, I think we leave this here. I know it's here, it's not gonna get nabbed by anyone. We use this one for the utility shielding for possibly one more round. The farming you're doing here, is it just for points? That's a very deep and philosophical question you're asking here, my friend. So right now, what I'm doing in game is not particularly of any use. Um, the game doesn't try to motivate you to do crazy stuff like this. The point is, I think it's very fun to make super crazy builds, and this is probably the ultimate way to test them. I think this is better test than extended game, to be honest, because in the extended end game there's certain like one use items or stuff like that you can use, and that sort of feels like cheating, or factions you can gain alliances with and just use their power instead of your own. So for me, this farming, like the most interesting part is the theorizing beforehand and trying to think of a build. Then you have like the setting up, and now yeah, I get to test it. So from that point of view, this is maybe not the most interesting part of the run, I guess. I sort of enjoy it. I mean, it's sort of satisfying to just watch all those bots go to pieces. But yeah, this is definitely like I'm probably one of the few people that do this. Um, were there any armor in TQ you passed up? Yeah, actually, I passed up shell armor, or you would have liked to find. No, not particularly, because this build, like the idea is that I don't take damage because I'm fast, I have long range, and I kill stuff instantly. So, and having stuff like dodge and force fields, that's just so slot efficient. And like this is force field, one slot makes my build last twice as long because I block 50% of damage and I can support it in terms of energy amounts. Um, so I can kill twice as many bots. So in that regard, you can view it as a super effective offensive item for the build. I can kill twice as many things before I die. But other than that, we're just trying to focus on damage. Like, yeah, I mean, damage reduction is just too good to pass up on, especially on flight. It's half the reason you want to play flight, because damage reduction is broken. Well, not broken. Don't tell Kisrati. It's perfectly fine. It's not broken. It's proportionally good to how awesome flight is. Let's put it like that. But yeah, also Shell got nerfed. Missing beam splitter. Actually, there's a thermal barrier over here, which is 50% reduction. And I could equip that. The reason I'm not doing that is because, well, I mean, what does thermal damage? There's like sentries, but those don't spawn. There's grunts. I outrange them. Everything else does kinetic damage. All the prototypes do kinetic damage. Swarmers do kinetic damage. Programmers, their EM damage, that I can outrange them as well. So yeah, Beam Splitter is not like priority on this build. Like even with the thermal thingies here, 50% damage reduction from thermal, which is super good on most builds. I just don't want it. I want this armor because it helps against prototypes, and that one doesn't. That's my way of thinking anyway. Maybe you disagree, you would do something differently. I agree that thermal barrier is a very good item at least. Also on this type of build, just not in this super particular situation the entire build is optimized for. So yeah, that's sort of the reasoning. Yeah, in terms of stuff that I would have liked to have actually, maybe after all one more targeting computer, because I noticed with just two that I was missing a lot. I would have liked to have an experimental target analyzer. Zion weapon casing might have been nice instead of utility shielding, possibly. I don't know. This is taking some damage. And obviously IRs. That's the biggest deal. If I had IRs, I could do this. Well, for each IR would like give me one more shot at this. So if I had 3 IRs, I would have 4 times as many points basically. Sort of skills linearly with those, but they didn't spawn. So, and I'm not gonna go to hell. I don't want trackers. Trackers is instant death. I'm not gonna do extension because I want to greed for every other branch. Extension isn't particularly good. Not on this build, at least. They're taking their sweet time again. Maybe I should hit up Kisrade again, tell him the time between assault waves is still too long. I think he's gonna be pissed. I sort of hope so. Not really, but you know, it'll be fun to show him you can still break stuff. Almost half hope this is not intended to be possible. Alright, there we go. That's a lot of assaults. Another screenshot. Just to showcase later. Dab on him. 11, 7, 18. Seems about right. Wow, they're moving quickly. Okay. Oh boy. This has to be up to date. Are they? What? Am I? Okay, apparently they were much closer than I thought. Maybe the experimental sensor rate just got timed very poorly. What is this IR you speak of? Infrared? An alien artifact that lets you repair parts. Yeah, exactly. Spoilers, but there's some fancy stuff you can get in research branches, and that's the best consumable item, arguably, in the game. But just, you know, minor spoilers. I'm not gonna tell you where you find it, but what it does is it eats some of your core and then distributes that integrity to your parts. Now on combat, this is just straight up the best item. On flight, it's even better because my core is completely irrelevant. Like I can tank anything and my core will never get low, but once I lose a single part, the build is suddenly exponentially worse. Uh, yeah, so getting IRs is a very big deal for this strategy and really any other strategy on flight that relies on combat. There's a lot of dudes. Let's move back a bit again. Oop. That guy suddenly jumped to the front. What the hell? Let's actually move diagonally a little bit. Trying to minimize their shots on me. Let's kite here again. Hopscotch? Oh, right, with the moving diagonally, or... Yeah, I'm trying to do as much movement optimization as I can. That's like half of what makes this build work. I have a lot of movement speed, but I have to actually use it. So move one back so I can get the stationary aim bonus guarantee. How scared am I of investigators? The answer is very scared. Let's move one more back. Oh shit. Okay. I probably messed that up. They probably moved like between my two shots, but then my sensor rate didn't update. I can still kill this guy and not get absolutely wrecked. I hope. But I am gonna have to fight out. Yeah, okay, I kill him. Let me double check the log. Formulating response. He didn't get the formulated response. That means we don't get trackers. Is that the only garrison that deploys assaults? Yeah, I destroyed all the others. It's part of the strategy. I'm gonna, like, while this guy is up front, I might be able to... Yeah, this might work. We'll find out, I guess. I'm so thankful for this one mechanic. You get to live for like 20 more turns just because of that. Look, he completely shielded me with his body. What a hero. Okay, I want to equip this, but not right now, so... There's too many spooky dudes. Very spooky. And Kiss is probably gonna nerf the hell out of this. I just know it. I wonder what our points are at. Maybe I'll do a stat dump on in a second. Oh, high-sec trackers is ouch. Where do you get the Q series? Q series is from L, I think, or from getting scanned in R branches, possibly. So yeah, I think R branches actually. Um, Trackers will absolutely destroy this build as they do with any build. So I don't want to get scammed. Just like I I pray to God that Kiz doesn't change the fact that you have like a millisecond to kill them before they completely ruin your run. This is very difficult to not get scammed the way they pop out of those ARCs. They can move like all over the place. It's really annoying. And then just dying to one of those popping into your face feels so dissatisfying. I think we're okay though, for right now, possibly. Let's find out. Why is there an ARC over here? Oh god, please no. I can move through here, right through here. No, they'll move through here. Okay. This is a dead end. That's a dead end. I can go around here, but there's probably a bunch more dudes over there. I could run through this. We already had the investigator. Or I can tank one or two shots from this guy and move down here. I think the last one's probably better. Actually, in case we're gonna tank him anyway, I should try to shoot him down first. Experimental force field, experimental utility shield, okay, that's fine. And if we're gonna shoot him, let's also shoot his friend. Maybe take. Oh, okay. No, we're not doing that. Change of plans. I definitely don't want to deal with those guys. We're running through here. Okay, only a regular assault. This is fine. I don't see trackers listed on the wiki, says Undertool. What's their deal? Why are they so dangerous? So basically, once upon a time, there were a few people, possibly one person, possibly me, who sort of abused some of the stuff that Flight could do. And then the gods, namely Kisrati, smote that person. Well, okay, that sounds super arrogant, sorry. What it comes down to, Kisrati nerfed the hell out of Flight, but also some of the other builds by adding trackers to what are they called? Not exterminations, but I forget what the name for those squads. Anyway, when those get called, first of all, tracker spawns. It has standard 10 movement speed. It has a weapon that will disable flight prop and hover prop. It deals a ton of damage. It has massive dodge. It's almost unkillable. Most of its good parts don't actually drop. They're part of the core, so you can't farm them on flight to abuse their parts. Yeah, so basically they're an absolute nightmare that there's no way to play against. They also have massive range, by the way. Did I mention that? So the counterplay at the current time is either just don't spawn them ever. Don't do anything that could potentially put you in a situation where they might get activated, or you can like try and leave the level before they spawn, even if they get activated. Five Step says, I think I saw someone from Intercept. Oh yeah, that's the word Intercept. Right, the Intercept squads. I think I saw someone from it. Yeah, I know some people collect the linked autoguns and trying to make a build about around that. It's probably possible. I have a lot of respect for people who manage to do that. That's probably very difficult. I don't think that's. I'm not gonna say it's impossible in flight, but why the hell would you want to? It's terrible. They're really hard to deal with on flight. Oh boy. Firestep says, or more specifically, I saw someone DC to tank the trackers in order to obtain EMDS from sea progs. Yeah, I don't know. Some people on the Discord are doing crazy stuff. Like, props to them. That's great, but yeah, I don't know. Trackers are too spooky for me. Okay, how are we gonna kite these? Probably this hallway. It's pretty long. Have some nice side hallways. Can we whip around back to where we were? Then we'd have to dig one tile, maybe with the linear accelerator. Oh, we probably have enough time. Have you killed the behemoths yet? Nope, I haven't. Actually, first when you get into this level, you have to hurry a lot in order to destroy all the right garrisons before the assault wave spawn. I managed to do that just in time, and then locate the last garrison, obviously, and find like a kite route. And I guess I've been waiting quite a long time in between waves, so maybe I'm at a point now where it would be doable. I don't really have any reason to, though. I dug through here earlier, so I can exit whenever I want. And I'm not going to go for command. I'm not planning to. So, yeah. But no, these beamers are still alive, and the ones at the command exit. So the ones over. Wait, is that over there? I'm confused. Yeah, no, but I haven't killed any behemoths on this floor, I think. No, don't think so. Probably could, but I'll also probably take damage doing that. What's phase shifter? 49, 44, no thanks. Instrumental cooled impulse thruster. That's possibly better than these now at this point. It's all gone. Where have you taken it? Die! Right, but wait here for a bit and then kite them. Like, I'm past the ambush traps now, so we could also kite through here. This is a very nice long hallway. Probably do that. Did this guy drop anything? What's my range? Can move through here if necessary. We'll be fine. Move back a bit. Try and shoot this guy. Okay, I could have positioned better there not to take damage. It's fine. I just want to kill them quickly. Right, grunts are fine. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. I'm probably very bad at commentary. I'm okay at killing stuff though, so I guess it's fine. And I'm having fun, which is most important. I hope you're having fun as well. Parental utility shielding gone. Okay. Oh, here comes another assault. Glad I managed to notice that. at the last second. Alright. We should go back sooner or later and get that armor. But I'll try to clear these guys out first. They've forgotten about me, it seems. Okay, I think I have their attention. It's interesting how they disappear off the sensor array before like moving to their actual position. Right. Is that an experimental targeting computer? Yeah, okay, that's an upgrade from what we have. I'll take it. Improved quantum reactor? Is that better than anything we're carrying? Nope. Okay. Vortex chain, not so damaged that I won't keep it. Centurium light armor plating. I guess there's not much difference between the non-damaged one. For all intents and purposes, it's the same thing. So, yeah. Great, so I think that's most of this wave well dealt with. Going back to clean up. I think we're waiting for next wave then again. Just quickly check if there's anything that I should replace in all the stuff that's dropped. I don't think so. Advanced target analyzer. I'm not gonna bother. I'll just get a new one if it breaks. I don't think it's gonna break before the rest of our build breaks. So. Right, I wanted to. Let's equip this one. I wanted to possibly equip this 91 versus 77. Yes, I might as well. There we go. Has anyone counted how many waves we've done? I think quite a few, probably. I might do a couple of more. We'll see, I guess. I'm not tired of it yet, so we'll do at least one more. Oh, sorry, I don't know if you heard that. I think my battery of my microphone is running out. Right, see if everything here is cleaned up. Oh, there's some dudes. We can kill those. Thanks for lining up. Say hello to your buddy for me. The real question is, that's fine step. Sorry, maybe I missed that earlier. Why one hypermelt rail instead of two? Yes, that's a good question. Actually, hyper multi-rails are unique items. They don't even spawn every game. You can only get one at most, unless you use a replicator. Now, the real question, as you put it, is what do you want to use your replicator for? That's a difficult question. It really depends on what spawns in your game. Now, often when I'm playing this game, I try to look out for an LRC master port. What that does is it gives you a flat bonus of 10 to support, and I guess on this build we don't really need it because we dropped all our storage. But that's usually something that you could like. That's just generally a very good item. This game I replicated the integrated energy generator thingy that does plus 20, so I got a plus 40 instead. I think that's working out fairly nicely. Maybe I could have done without, but it'd have been close probably. I couldn't maybe have run all of this as efficiently. Second, hyper multi-rail is probably very good. Looking at how, so like the thing is, your DPS output increases, but like the steps in which you do damage. So then instead of like my entire volley will become longer. If I'm still unable to kite enemies, that's definitely better. If the volley time of this is such that if I um, fire at max range, I can still like use it to kite some enemies, then I would want to still use one hyper multi-rail in that situation just to be able to kite and not take damage. I think if you take this farming far enough, wait, let me get into position and start waiting again so I don't like waste time while talking. Um, I think if you farm long enough, you get into a situation where there's so many dudes and they're moving so quickly, and you can't optimize your kiting because you can't use all the nice parts of the map. You also have to use some other parts. Then you're probably going to take damage anyway. If you're taking damage anyway, you can't kite as efficiently, then you just want max DPS to. So at least while you're taking fire, you're doing that for as short as possible, as little time as possible. So then there's probably a good argument for replicating a multi-rail, hyper multi-rail. It's definitely a very good target for replication because this item is absolute nonsense. Oh my god. 3 projectiles, each penetrates 4 targets, and has a 50% critical. I can combine this with experimental core analyzer, 50% chance that to just automatically hit core. If you hit core with any of those, they're just, and then you get a crit or something, and crit percent is also very high. They're just instantly dead. So is the weapon sector wasted on its current build? I wouldn't say so. Weapon cycler actually. So the idea behind the weapon cycler, there's like two effects it has. First of all, my volley time becomes shorter. That means I can do my movement in between my volleys more efficiently and stay at max range more efficiently, which means I take less damage. So I stay alive longer, I kill more bots. And that, in terms of that, it's super good, and it's like 30%, so that's a very big deal. Secondly, I just kill 30% more quickly. So I spend 30% less time being fired at all. Like it's not just for my movement and staying at like having short burst volleys and then moving again, etc. It's also just even if I stood still and I just tanked them, I'm spending 30% less time now. So I'm like 0.1 over 0.7. I don't know, man. I'm just gonna guess and say it's something like 1.3. So I'm like, it's effectively like this build's lasting 1.3 times as long because of this item. Um, all of my items are sort of like that. Some of them are different, like sensor array, that's complicated. Metafield is also complicated, but most of them are just like, okay, this makes me crit 8% more times. That improves my DPS by a factor 1.2. That means I'm killing 1.2 times as many bots, and also I can stay at max range more efficiently, something like that. And then you just do all those calculations and you decide, okay, which items are most efficient for that? Do I want to maximize my ability to kite, or do I want to maximize my ability to do DPS? This build actually is already more towards the DPS side. If you want to kite, you can use Omega Cannon. It has more range, less instant kill potential. But after the nerfs, that just doesn't work anymore. It's not viable to only rely on kiting. So you also want to have a lot of DPS, even if you have to stand still, tank prototype bots, and just muddle through it. And Rachel says, oh, I think I misunderstood the cycler. I thought it's better firing 2 weapons collectively. Made think it was optimizing firing 2+ weapons. No, I'll put it on here while I wait. I can't wait while I'm showing this. Just take your time, read it. I'll leave it here 10 seconds. But it reduces collective firing time of all guns, cannons, and launchers by 30%. So if I have anything in my volley that I'm firing, the entire volley is now 30% quicker. So it takes 0.7 times the time. So that's actually a very key item. It's also the reason why you want to like you can only get a couple of fabs of stuff of this like asterisk 9, so prototype tier 9 level. And I had to choose which ones I wanted. I didn't go for the experimental target analyzer. I went for this instead because I think the 5% cycling. Yeah, I didn't actually do the calculations, by the way. I'm just sort of eyeballing this and saying, oh, that seems about right. 1 over 0.7 is about 1.3. Yeah, it seems good. Probably doing it wrong. This is probably not optimal, but yeah, I think experimental weapon cycler is probably quite high priority. Being able to fire quickly is useful in a bunch of ways. Take less damage, you kite more efficiently, you just kill more bots. It's pretty good. I'm gonna mute myself for 10 more seconds and grab a quick drink. Be right back. Okay, audio, check. Right, okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask. I like talking about this sort of theoretical stuff, like also the philosophy about behind brick. I really like that. That's fun. This is sort of a different philosophy. That's also why I give this build a different name. This build is called Fastest Gun, by the way. Sort of a silly name. It's like Wild West reference. I don't know, because you're fast and you're a gun. Yeah, I don't know. Sounded good at the time. This is 12, 5 plus 3. That's 20. Wow, that's a lot. Let's try. I think this is probably the last wave I'm doing because they're taking like longer and longer. And also have some other stuff I want to do today. So either we die here, or I guess this isn't the last stream as I had actually expected. I should be very careful here. If I don't pop them, that's a problem. If I pop them and they're in my face, that's also a problem. So I'm just gonna be very scared. I don't know where they are right now. I waited 1 turn, but the sensor ray didn't update, so if that was an investigator, I would have been possibly dead. But it's just so hard to play around at this point. I have to pop them sooner or later, and they keep hopping over each other. So I'm just glad I could pop them now at least. It's worth taking the shots. It's just, yeah, I'd rather not run any chances of getting an investigator at all. Let me put my mouse on my range again so you can actually see what I'm doing. I'll try and kill that guy if I can. They're still moving so quickly. The fact that the sensor array doesn't update is definitely like super annoying. Maybe I should equip the Spectre Analyzer instead of the armor at this point, just to deal with all the hopping. Like that's a really big deal right now. That's a lot of dudes. Let's try and move over here and guide them from this place. Not seeing any other dudes this time. Or Spectral plus another armor instead of sensors. Yes, that's an option. I like this because the last two times it told me about the stragglers. So like, if I reach a point where I can't do this kiting and like controlling the waves as efficiently anymore, which we might reach, I don't know. That might be the limiting factor. It's definitely a possible limiting factor that I can't control the waves as nicely anymore, and then I get like attacked from two sides and I'm just dead. And in order to deal with that, sensor array is actually huge. This is my first time trying it out, and it feels super amazing. Also, being able to like see how many guys there are here beyond the corner, etc., and like I can wait at the right spot, and it's just very nice. Yeah, it's definitely also an option. Just doing Spectral Analyzer plus armor. I think I'm gonna stick with this for now because it seems to be working pretty well. Like that's also a thing. It's sort of sometimes it's difficult to tell exactly why your build is working, but if it's working, like don't change your strategy like in within the same farm because if either one of them isn't good, then you lose. So or just drop interpreter. That's an idea. No, wait, I'm not gonna do that. Specifically because investigators, I need to know if there's an investigator. If there's an investigator, like my life rides on knowing that. So no, I can't drop the interpreter. That's definitely out of the question. It, like, props to you for trying to think along. I appreciate it, but sorry if I'm being a bit harsh. Uh, sorry if there's background noise. Right. Pop this maybe. Okay. I might as well tank those. Can I pop this? An investigator might come out and like whoop my ass, so maybe let's not. Could possibly also use something like the weapons the investigators drop. Could consider it. Don't think I'm going to, but it's too slow, too spooky. Experimental pro. What's that? Propulsion shielding. Huh. That's interesting, actually. What's the limiting factor here? My utilities don't seem to be taking that much damage. Fortunately, took a bit. Oh, that's fine. Okay. My props are taking a lot of damage. My chain reactor I can replace. My weapon I would like something to shield that, but it seems to be doing okay, except for that one time when we got stasis at the start. So maybe this is better than the Centurion Light Armor. It's what, 50%? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna swap that. Experimental propulsion shielding is actually very good. I wish it had been of another type, maybe? I don't know. Nah, this is fine. Oh, there's something over there. I don't know why exactly. Maybe because this way is blocked and it went around. Could have been it. Oh, that's annoying. I think I can deal with it. It's coming this way. I'm gonna have to keep a close eye on that then. Can maybe shoot once or twice more here. Just want to pop these and then probably get the hell out of here. You overloaded Q thrusters to get away from an investigator? No, I didn't actually. This is good to know. So, if you're overloading prop, the burnout chance is, let me see if I can show you. Percent chance per move to lose 1 point over integrity. What this means is, if you are in stasis, you can overload these and try to move, but you're not moving because you're in stasis. So actually, they don't get hurt. Uh, Suggestions welcome and will be dismissed promptly. That's a very good description for the stream. Maybe I'll put that down there. No, sorry. I'm trying to teach you guys stuff. I'm trying to be helpful and positive. Um, Feedback like this is welcome. But yeah, no, if you're wrong, I'm gonna say you're wrong. So I did overload them to get away, but I didn't get damage from it because I didn't actually move. And I turned the overloading way off as soon as I got out of stasis. So this damage is just from getting hit by prototypes primarily. Right, let's move. So yeah, every time I see an ARC, my main thought is, what would happen if that one contained an investigator? And right now I'm thinking that's very spooky, so I'll move away even more. It can actually hit me from over there, that's interesting. That's a lot of range. Core, okay. Oh, I thought, okay, messed up. Nice. That's very good. But yeah, if you have like suggestions, feel free. If you have questions as well, I enjoy responding to those. I might not agree with you, but yeah, I just hope people are okay with it. There's an investigator. Okay. Super careful mode activated. Max range. Please snipe. No snipe. In which case, I'm gonna do one more. Oh, we got him, I think. Okay, that's great then. I was gonna say if that doesn't work, I will have to move back, but like having straggler ARCs is a problem. Having straggler investigators is like even scarier. Because with an ARC, it's just a chance of death, and like with an investigator, it's pretty much guaranteed if you run into them around the corner. Luckily, we have a sensor array, so we should see that coming. Huh. Why are they doing that? I can't see any enemies. Oh. Oh, okay. Let's be very scared. Move over here. Oh, they're coming through the door. I'll have to move back even more then. Luckily, this hallway is like crazy long. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna shoot this guy right away because he's a nice meat shield to keep between me and the things I really want to shoot. See? Okay, that was very nice. This is going surprisingly well. Let's see. Chat's quiet again. Was I too harsh? Sorry, guys. I try. Oh wow, there's a lot of them. Let's focus on those then. Port exchange return, okay. We have a backup of that. Like a decent backup. 2 improved quantum reactors is about as good. And so, not too worried about that. Found space shifter got damage, we can find backups of that. The hunters dropped them, so it's not the end of the world. Ender2 says, haha, no, I was just kidding. I didn't think you were heavy-handed with your responses at all. Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not great at streaming. I'm like mostly paying attention to the gameplay so I don't die, so I might be saying stupid stuff while I'm doing that, but if you don't think I was too heavy-handed, then it's okay. I should probably be paying more attention down here. I can handle those guys, I think. Just want this guy to relocate himself to another dimension, preferably that of death. Alright, there we go. Experimental targeting computer. Are any of ours damaged? Yes. Is this one damaged? Also yes. Okay. Doesn't matter then, I guess. We're starting to take more damage. Ooh, that's nice. If I could make this work with like only impulse thrust arrays, like I'm thinking like one crazy way to improve this build would be to make it so that it basically only uses stuff that is dropped by prototypes. And then use experimental weapon shielding for the hyper multi-rail because we can't replace that. But we can get the quantum reactors, we can get the thruster arrays, we can get the targeting computer, we can get the core analyzer, target analyzer from programmers. Armor integrity, we can get advanced ones from the prototypes. We can't get a weapon cycler, I don't think. Phase shifters we can replace. Force field not. I don't know, it's worth thinking about. I think there's a lot of stuff we could just simply replace from prototypes. And with such a high salvage build that's lasting already a decent amount of time, that might just be one really efficient way of making the build last longer. Because right now, I can only replace part of my stuff. So I could like opt for a slot distribution that works with maybe just impulse thruster arrays or something like that. I don't know. It's worth thinking about. I'll equip this because I'm not gonna bother like doing that more optimally. Experimental core analyzer. That one's damaged. This one's not damaged. Check real quick. Okay. Oh, there's a hunter there. I should probably take that one out first. That's priority. For exchange reactor, that's okay. Replacements, yes. Okay, your turn to die. Your time to die. My advanced reaction control system is a bit damaged, I think. Oh, advanced phase shifter. This one is less damaged. I don't mind if it's a little damage. It's actually better because then we leave the better backups on the ground for later. arguably be better, but I don't want them in a situation where they could break within one wave, because during a wave I can't get replacements easily, and then it'll snowball and we'll take a bunch of damage. So, I want to kill those guys. Let's try and do that like this. Okay, that worked surprisingly well. Oh, sorry about that. Apparently I'm suddenly having a hailstorm here. Hope that's not too much noise. Let's kill that dude. Uh, oof. Hey guys, I'm back. I think it might start again in a minute, so then I'll just turn my mic off again for a second. Sorry, that's integrity once more, and it'll show integrity weighted by coverage. Oh, okay. Let me try and do it like that. Yeah. So you can see my thrusters are pretty high, but now we have experimental propulsion shielding for that, and the for exchange reactor is very high, but we can place it. Wait, that's not it. Is this it? Is this it? What am I doing? Is this it? I never use these. Can I see that here? Hmm. I think this is maybe it. Tell me if I'm wrong. No, wait, this is energy, right? Tell me what button to press. WW. Okay, so this is Q. WW. There you go. I think this is it. Looks like it could be more or less correct. I mean, this is where we're taking the most damage. So wait, that's mass. Oh yeah, you're right. I'm stupid. Sorry. Um, it says when you toggle, it does. Where does it say that? Info, matter. Oh, right there. Integrity, mass. Okay. Energy, heat, energy, heat. Um, see? Coverage, vulnerability. There you go. My reaction control system and advanced phase shifter are very vulnerable. Engines vulnerable. Weapons very, kind of vulnerable, which is unfortunate. I can't replace that. Right, but I hope that showed you what you wanted. I can screenshot it and put it on the Discord later if you want me to. Just say the word. But for right now, I'm gonna continue the gameplay for the people who are probably more interested in that. So actually, I'm gonna clear this out, and then I think I'm gonna call it quits for today. But this will take a little while more anyway. Seems to be quite some lots left still. Oh, he can see me, so we're too close. This is going surprisingly well. I thought I would be dead this stream, like before it ended, and also that it would end a lot more quickly. But apparently the planning worked out. This build is actually better this way. So now I can safely make a Reddit post or something, I guess, with instructions and some flexing, possibly dabbing. Also crazy paint edits, because why not? Those are fun. Okay, they spotted me. I don't really care about the melee dudes, they're not that strong. Okay. Once you've critted all their parts off, they die pretty quickly, I think. There we go. Can I? No, I can't hit that dude from here. Can hit him from here. Next. How do you maximize your chance of obtaining metafield? That's complicated. That's very complicated. So if you want one way to do it, just look at the where I streamed that part. Actually, no, maybe don't look at that. I think this particular run, I like came out of that fight with exactly 69 core and then made it all the way through proc caves and back to the complex. That's like not how you normally want to do it. Um, Generally, I would say take some allies with you that have at least not negative salvage. If you get some Z allies and some of them have negative salvage, just kill the ones that have negative salvage. Then throw away your moralities. That's step one to becoming a death machine. Um, then you want to use, first of all, like there's two general ways to go about it. You can try and kill her as quickly as possible and hope it drops. So, for example, what I sometimes do, especially if I have longsword +1. Um, oh, thanks, Endertool. Yeah, I'm probably gonna quit the stream anyway, so you're not missing much. Hope you hang out next time. It was fun. Hope you had fun. Thanks. I'm sure the farm will go okay. So, what was I saying? Um, right, metafield. If you have something like longsword +1, what you can do is you can try and move in such a way that Imprinter does not spot you before you get your turn next to her, and you can do a sneak attack, potentially to her core. If you have something like an armor integrity analyzer, or even better, core analyzer from something like the prototype processor guy in Zion, that's even better. But okay, I'll summarize. If you can sneak attack her core with a melee weapon and she instantly dies, that's a very good way to get all of her parts intact, but then you don't have any positive salvage modifier. If you're doing a positive salvage modifier with something like plasma cutter, um, you're not gonna kill her, and because at least the type of build that I use already switches before Z, because you want to have flight in order to deal with thieves in caves. Um, if you're in that situation, you're not going to be able to kill her on your own. So then you need allies. You can get those from A7, the code. You can get Shadow if you're lucky. You can get allies from Z events. You can take allies from earlier and take them to Z. Yeah, that's just a few ideas, but basically you want help. So that's the gist of it. And also, one exception is possibly if you have exile items that can help. So if you have very good exile items, killing the imprinter on flight on your own without negative salvage modifier is possible. Longsword +1 is probably the best example. I would say also maybe the guided plasma cannon or plasma gun. I forget what it's called. The guided plasma thing. That's just some options. I think there's other people who do it different ways. Like this is very specifically what works for my type of build. and my type of like alliances as well, because I want to steal from exiles every single game because it's good, and I don't care about them very much. Like in terms of creating garrison access. Okay, fine. Yeah. So if you steal every single game, then you already need to be flight in Z, and it's possible to do Z with flight, but you need some specific stuff. Motor shop weapons might even make salvage computers worth considering. Yeah. Are you talking about Z or are you talking about this build right now? If you're talking about this build right now, that's an interesting thought. Um, so that's sort of along the line what I was saying earlier. Now that there's prototypes, a lot of the stuff you want for this build that you want to replace, if it breaks, actually drops from them. I think this build is already lasting long enough that the things I can replace drop often enough that I get them more quickly than I lose them, if you know what I'm saying. Don't know if this build cares about salvage that much. I think it might, potentially. You could play around it, and I think it's definitely very good because a lot of prototypes bots have precisely the stuff you want on this build. So it is good. The point I'm trying to make is because you're in this level for so long, even if your salvage is that bad that just 1 in 10 prototypes bots drops the stuff that you want at decent integrity, that's still good enough because you're killing so many of them. 1 in 10 is just great. You don't mind. You don't want it for matter either. I mean, I don't know if you've looked at the screen, but we have enough matter. Um, I'm just kidding, but and that's a very interesting point. I'll think about it. But if I had to answer right now, I think I would say that utility slots on this build are extremely important because, like I explained earlier, you can have an item that just straight up makes your build last effectively 1.3 times longer, something like that. 30% is a big deal. And then that advanced salvage modifier or something like that is not a direct boost. Yeah, it would probably be good if you used it in a very smart way, but then if you compare it with some of the other in-slot options in utilities, there's just really good ones. So yeah, tough call. Worth thinking about probably. But yeah, I would say likely not, unless you do something very strange. Right. I think that was the wave. Um, Either I cut the stream here because like I don't want to stop in the middle of a wave, so at least I know sort of what's going on the map. Um, Either I stop here or I go on for maybe 30 more minutes because the waves are getting really big and I think one is taking a long time. I think I'm gonna stop here. So I had a lot of fun. I really liked how active chat was this time. I think we had a couple of interesting discussions. So thanks for that, especially Undertool, who's not here anymore, but also Finestep, you. Thanks a lot. Um, I'll be streaming again this week sometime, I think. It's sort of hard to predict my schedule. It's sort of chaotic. But I'll make sure to put it in Discord as early as I can. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you're there next time. See you around, I guess. Bye bye.